Welcome to another Transits Friday. So, checking if the mic is on. Mic is on. Good. Good to go. So, this is the build up for the full moon. So, we've gone from a Friday where we had a new moon Scorpio to a kind of a build up towards the full moon in Taurus. So, from today, Friday the 8th, until next Friday the 15th, we're going to be growing, or the moon is going to be growing, perhaps we're going to be growing together with the moon as well to come to the culmination of this full moon. So I'm going to look into the chart of the full moon a lot with you. Obviously, next week we're going to talk even more about it. Perhaps do a video on the full moon based on the ascendant, which I haven't done it in ages, so maybe it's the time to do one of those. And but today we're going to look into that chart. We're going to discuss those energies, and we're also going to see the build up a little bit. Just before we look into the chart of the full moon, we're going to see what's going to be happening throughout this week. Now, how was the new moon, or how was this week for you? I'm obviously still away, so you can see me because I recorded this video in advance. But I am still on my retreat, hopefully having some massages and feeling a bit refreshed, reading by the pool, hopefully without internet. Um, but tell me how you are. What's going on for you? What were your new insights and reflections throughout this week? And I'll be reading it for sure. For me, community building is really, really important, and I love to see your comments and your engagement in here. So let me share my screen and show you the chart for today first. So this is the 8th of November. Friday. So what we have is the sun coming to opposite Uranus. I guess this is one of the key energies of this week. And obviously it will be very much tied to this full moon, as you can imagine. So this energy is going to be really, really under the spotlight in a very, very big way. We also have Venus in square to Neptune today and tomorrow as well, and for the weekend. So I guess a Venus Neptune is to really watch out for delusions, illusions, confusions, um, overindulging in transcendence, drinking a little bit too much this weekend, etc. But a wonderful constructive way of working with this Venus Neptune square, and believe me, coming from someone that has it in the chart, is to do something creative, is to do something inspiring. I think Neptune wants us to bring divine inspiration back into our lives, and this weekend could be something that we do, being creative, being inspired in some way, or bringing inspiration into other people's lives. Mercury is also coming to square Saturn. So we've got two sets of squares between Sag and Pisces. And obviously, they're both ruled by Jupiter. So it brings us back to Jupiter and Gemini. And perhaps a way out of these squares is to learn something from it, is to educate ourselves, read about it, understand it, search for information, communication, or even write about these dualities, do some journaling, write them down, and do a little bit of that Gemini. So Saturday, still that square is perfecting, the square between Venus and Neptune. Obviously, Mars-Pluto opposition is still around us, is still lingering, that energy there, and the process of reclaiming our power, reclaiming our ability to assert, to be assertive, etc. This is Sunday, so weekend is pretty much that same energy. We've got Moon in Pisces joining there with a set of squares. Monday, we have Venus ingressing to Capricorn, so big shift of energy here between Sag and Capricorn, and I suppose becoming a little bit more serious in our relationships, or putting a little bit more love into our ambitions as well. It's just appreciating more the Capricornian life quality, or the flavor that Capricorn represents. So hardworking, classic, beauty becomes more classic, or we become more interested in the classic. you know, manifestations of beauty and um, demonstrations of affection as well become more um, self-contained, I guess. I think that's a flavor of a Venus in Capricorn as well. Between Monday and Tuesdays when Mercury perfects the square between Mercury and Saturn. Important to balance that when it comes to sharing our message, to communicating, to feel like we can't speak up as well. There might be some frustration around that on the Tuesday or between Monday and Tuesday. So something to pay attention to, be aware of, etc. Wednesday, Thursday, and boom, Friday. That's when the full moon happens. This is the chart of the full moon pretty much. So it'll be happening at 24 degrees Taurus. So if you have anything around the 24, 25th degree of the fixed signs, so sun, moon, ascendant, etc. But yeah, fixed signs Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, then this full moon is going to be even more personally relevant to you. Um, Obviously, first thing that screams at me when I look at this chart is the conjunction to Uranus. So this full moon is going to be conjoined Uranus. We'll have that very strong energy of the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. Be open to changes. And I think usually with Uranus is fear not. If you are looking into your sense of separation, individuality, and awakening, this is going to come as an exciting change. I think um the more dramatic events that are related with the outer planets are usually equivalent to the amount of resistance that we have to change as well. So the more I resist to change, the bigger the sweeping will have to be to make me move. So that full moon Uranus might have a little bit of that flavor of like the more we're resisting something, the more that's going to break out through events, people leaving, sudden movements, sudden changes, sudden breakups that this Uranus can bring to the picture. But it can also be a lot about um, revelations, insights, breakthroughs. I think there's a lot of a breakthrough kind of quality that this can have as well. And in fact, this full moon was happening not too far from the degree of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that we had earlier this year. So we talked about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction and how that could be related to a big breakthrough in that area of our lives, wherever that Jupiter-Uranus fell in your chart. So what house was it? Was it the fifth house, the sixth, the 10th, the ascendant? This full moon was going to dig deeper into that, or is going to bring something up. It's going to be a combination connected to that. But it could really be a breakthrough rather than a breakup. But as we say in the astrological community, if you are predicting, then it's not Uranus, because Uranus is unpredictable by nature. So it is expect the unexpected in this, time for this week, for this full moon. But really look close at whatever it is that's happening, whatever, if someone is asking for more space from you, or if you're needing more space from someone else, or if there is a sudden job opportunity for you, or, really pay attention to that. Keep your eyes peeled. There's something big to happen. And I think one of the key things here, because Taurus is involved, is to be really aware of and to really make sure that you're aligned with your core values as well. Because I think that's one of the deepest interpretations of Taurus is values, value system, the things that we value, self-worth, self-value, etc. So issues around that could be part of the picture. This full moon is still obviously coming to trine Pluto, so we still have a kind of a Pluto energy here, a lot more subtle than the previous full moon, and this past new moon as well in Scorpio, when we had the Pluto Mars opposition very tight, but it still is a trine there, a sextile to Neptune. So we still have that sort of evolutionary flavor and energy that we've been talking about for months now with these configurations. And they're going to be intensifying next year, when we have Pluto finally in Aquarius and we have Neptune in Aries and Uranus in Gemini as well. And, they're going to be still forming those trines and sextiles to each other, but in the more extroverted sign. So we might be able to put that into practice more or to bring that out into the world a little bit more. But this full moon is picking up on that energy. It's taking a ride with that energy as well. And yes, I mean the ruler of this full moon is Venus, which is in Capricorn. So something about tangible accomplishments or movements or things that, we value that might be really under the spotlight here. Money issues, financial issues between me and a partner, or, any of these things can be really they're coming up in a very big way with this full moon, or in a very unexpected way with this full moon as well. And another thing that I want to mention here as well is that this is the day that Saturn is going to be turning direct. So Venus is the ruler of the full moon. Venus is in Capricorn, and the ruler of Capricorn is obviously Saturn, which is turning direct on the day of this full moon. So there's something important here as well, reflected by this. And I do feel that it could be something connected with a stronger sense of seriousness, commitment, or renewal of our commitments based on our values, what we really want to commit, and a little bit more clarity around that. And so we can start moving forward with these structures. Obviously, bring that to your natal chart. Where is Saturn transiting now? Where do you have 12 degrees Pisces? Because that's where Saturn is right now. And it will be transiting that area of your life. So this sense of I can finally move forward is connected to that area in your life. So that's also there. And on top of everything that we're discussing, there's also Mercury 16 Sagittarius coming to trine Chiron. So further understandings and healing on our sense of self and our sense of vision and optimism, more optimistic mindset as well, perhaps, that we can reclaim during this full moon with this big release of energy that this full moon is going to represent. I really think this full moon is going to come with a bang, so be ready throughout the week. Get ready, be prepared, work on your mindset for this full moon and, for what you want to manifest or to release during this full moon, to let go during this full moon as well. So that's it. I will be back again next Friday, when I'm actually going to be back as well for my retreat. So if I take a little while to reply to your comments, don't worry, I will reply. It's very important to me that you participate, that you feel heard, that you feel seen, and that we create a beautiful, astrological, sensitive community as well, a very supportive place. And yeah, that's it. Wishing you a wonderful build up for the full moon, beautiful full moon as well. And I'll be seeing you all next week or on the day of the full moon. So take care. Mwah, lots of love, and I'll see you soon.